We were a band in Minneapolis, Minnesota for several years, and we were really supported by the community there. But at the end of the day, it felt like we needed to spread our wings and try to go somewhere that had a little bit more connectivity between other cities. There is a heart of music and culture in Philly that I think really attracted us. And one of the reasons that we really liked Philly was because we actually came here to Minor Street to record our first record.
This is a song that they've had for a long time, and they were wide open to it turning into whatever it would turn into. So that was a good thing.
I don't want to live any life by default. Every failure we have as a group makes me question the choices I make, but then every time we're working together and something magical happens, it reaffirms the choices I make. And I'm totally happy to be in tension like that. I'm Max Kulicke. I play guitar for Carroll.
I'm Brian. I play keyboards and sing, and we're recording a song for Shaking Through.
The band arrived yesterday. They were here to record the song Private Moon. It was interesting how sort of intimately and in detail they knew the song, but more how in detail they could speak conceptually about the song.
A little bit less legato and atmospheric, and more like dialed in and really, really small.
Sure.
But also with kind of 80s inspired, almost like the Police versus, not Police.
We are really a deeply intertwined collaborative four-piece, and we put a lot of effort and energy and thought into this stuff because ultimately you're not trying to just provide content for the sake of content.
We really like the idea of putting in front of an editing process of people that we think are really good producers and really good artists that can help us finish the song. I mean, we really wanted to bring other people into the process and say, okay, what does the song need and how do we really nail it? We originally played the song with the drum kit, bass, keyboards, and guitar, and we quickly realized that the song would benefit from an alternative structure.
It felt like the drums weren't going to be necessarily the thing that propelled the song forward, and I felt pretty strongly that the song needed a certain momentum to be compelling.
It seems like what we could do that'd be really pretty easy is program a real cheap sounding drum beat from either the Korg or from the Rhythm Ace, and something that plays on the offbeats of this beat, so that when you're playing this beat, it all of a sudden feels like, oh wow, some big piece of the puzzle was just added.
Something more syncopated.
Yeah.
How many can go in at once? 2 total.
What is it? So. Oh. That's a good beat right there.
Kind of tight.
Bossa Nova beat was the right choice because it was the counter to where the drums were going to sit.
The Rhythm Ace drum machine predates MIDI. It predates precision in any way, shape, or form. So we had to dump the sound in to Pro Tools, break apart each drum sound in the drum pattern, and then reassemble it on the grid. And now it's going to be perfectly in time, and each of those hits can be assigned to its own track.
That was like a totally genius move on McTear's part, because you start with this metronomic bossa beat that doesn't sound like a live drummer at all, intentionally so, and you slowly shift that throughout the course of the song into this actual live drum groove that is a different feel and moves the song forward in a different way. And that unfolding is part of the dynamic arc of the song.
It doesn't feel abrupt or overt. It's almost like a small ticker or reminder that the song is in a certain feeling, and sort of lets the instrumentation actually take center stage.
I'll be up in my private moon, wondering how it took so long to get back to you.
But you want me to sing the old thing? Should I hold off?
At the time when we were first setting up, I was a little worried that they were maybe over scrutinizing in too much detail.
Well, just to clarify, you're talking about the suspension that's after the second chorus, and then the outro is like
when we're together writing and arranging, we talk about like every measure sometimes.
Something just that I just remembered as we started to play that. Charles, remember we proposed doing like a rest for the last 2 chords of the cycle? I think that's really true about our band and can be amazing and really productive, and can also be a hindrance at times. It's basically broken down when we enter, and then we build it up halfway through, which I think
I'm down to try it. I just don't want to do too many
Yeah, because we're about to do that when the second chorus ends. We're about to.
So sometimes my role as producer was just to sort of break it up and say, let's just do something and do it now, not think about it too much. So yeah, we'll need to motor. We'll need to really move fast. Do you guys want to just keep running it?
Yeah.
Just run it again. We'll speed it up 2 beats per minute.
Yeah.
Or yeah, pull it towards.
This is a very blue song. Yeah. We've been in kind of a blue period. I think this song is like the final marker of that. Because we sort of have to move on from it, but this song is so moody that it's just like you want to be in this like blue, like wobbly ocean for a long time.
So for the drum room mics, we used our standard Weathervane drum room mic technique, which is 2 ribbons with the nulls facing towards the drum set.
What that does is it makes the drums sound farther away than they actually are. But there's no time delay that would actually come with placing them 60 feet away. The Rode NTRs were great for that because of the shape of the mics. They sort of really reinforce the idea that the mics are not pointed at the drum set, they're pointed perpendicular to the drum set. They balance really well. Those are great sounding mics.
We didn't do any other takes. We got the basic for the band in the first take.
That was really good. So after we got the basic track, drums, bass, drum machine, synth bass, we proceeded to record synths.
We try really hard to take straightforward pop song structures that are really precisely arranged, precisely written, and super detailed, and then make them unsettling. And synthesizers is the perfect thing to use for that.
Cool, so I should start from the top?
Yeah.
So we chose to use 2 like very classic synthesizers on this track. One is the Yamaha DX7, and then the other is a Juno 106.
You're holding something for that, right?
For the keyboard pad electric piano sound, we use the Yamaha DX7 because it almost feels like it's slightly pulsating in a way that feels extremely organic. Like I'll say, liquidy water bowl again. But it also has a little bit of a vibe like an 80s ballad keyboard.
Yeah. I didn't remember size. All right, from the top again, sorry. All right.
So cheesy but so satisfying, and that's what the Yamaha DX7 delivers.
You guys ready?
Let me
Can you hear it in the phones?
work on this sound for about a minute and a half.
All right.
The Juno 106, we chose to use that for the lead synthesizer sound because I think it has like a nice, exciting kind of graininess to the filter. You can hear a lot of like crackle in it. The modulation on the 106 is really fast and exciting, so it fit really nicely into the rest of the landscape of the synths.
So we had all of the synths just going straight in through a DI. They went through the Countryman DI and then into our Dizengoff D4 preamp. One thing that we were kind of working towards was using the different synths for different voices maybe of the same part, and then in mixing we pan those hard left and hard right. So it doesn't just feel like it's a block in the middle of everything.
Yeah, a quicker fade in, a quicker...
Yeah.
Quicker on both ends, okay. Filter man.
Yeah, it is.
I'm a filter twiddling prodigy. It was really fun to be able to have someone playing the synthesizer, and then I just reached over his shoulder and helped guide the development of the synth. You can kind of just like let it unravel over time.
Resonance sweeps, frequency sweeps, bringing up an LFO, all that stuff can take an otherwise static pedal tone and make it have a lot of energy and movement and narrative quality to it.
I do remember when we wrote it because we were recording our first record here at Minor Street, and we took like a weekend off to go up to a beach cabin that one of our friends was staying at. I took a really long walk on the beach, and the beach was just covered in snow, and there was like 0 footsteps. Kind kind of just looked like this really futuristic, spacey scene where I had sort of discovered my own planet.
The moon is this entity that is both close and like permanently removed. You know, proximity but distance, isolation but togetherness. That to me all feels like it is in keeping with this same general theme that we've been working on for the last year or so.
Moving had to do with that, I think, a little bit. For me, you know, I spend a lot of time alone, like working on music, and sometimes that feels isolating and sometimes it feels really liberating. So the moon concept sort of signifies like just exploring the tension between independence and loneliness, wanting to have all the space in the world but not being able to share it with anybody. Private moon and the moon around that is like simple embodiment of that feeling.
It's funny, the move really, it makes you feel other distances in your life. Being uprooted, being isolated, being physically in transition, all sort of comes out in what we do.
Okay. What do we want to do next then?
I guess if I had to pick, I would say we should move to vocals.
Oh yeah, I'm always down to do the vocals like sooner than later because it clarifies.
I don't want to get to like.
I think we were waiting for the song to coalesce around the vocals. In the middle of the day, we were recording it, and we had all the instrumentation laid out, but it was sort of like, okay, what does this song actually mean?
Start from the top?
Yeah, I mean the verses are the most important.
When we were getting ready to record the vocals, Matt wanted to try the Rode K2 and the Rode NTR side by side just to see which would sound better.
You used to know everyone. Now this party is empty.
It was pretty clear right away that the ribbon was going to be too dark and too dense to fit into this already like pretty mid-range heavy song.
Both drunk.
I think the K2 sounded particularly good. It just packaged his voice just perfectly.
Are they all set up, do you know?
I don't know. So a lot of people will hear problems with harmonies as being pitch problems, and we always find that the majority of the problems are solved through straightening out the singer's rhythm. Hey, so do me a favor.
Yeah.
You're standing like you're trying not to move.
Yeah.
Move your hands in time with the beat, and that'll help you
Sure.
punctuate like the.
Is the issue that I'm not enunciating the notes?
No, it's that you're not landing right with them. We told him a little trick that we've been doing here for years, which is just physically keep time with your hands. You know, we sometimes say do conductor hands. What that was gonna do was that was gonna fix the real problem, which was his timing.
There's an echo about it.
Perfect, right?
Works every time.
One that swallows the room.
Does this guy know what he's
Works
doing or
every
what?
time.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
great.
Let's double that.
Yeah.
Can we double it now?
I'll be up on my private moon wandering. I'll be up in my private moon wandering. I'll be up in my private moon wondering how it took so long to get back to you.
So we had Max do a bunch of different passes of guitar. He had, you know, kind of a more standard finger-picking, arpeggiating guitar part. And then he had this just straight-up feedback guitar part.
Working and producing our own music for the last year has really helped me identify what elements make music interesting but aren't core, and what elements absolutely need to be done right to have a song work. The guitar parts in this song aren't the make or break elements of the song. It's gonna be the drums and the drum machine and the vocals. And then the guitars just kind of go around it. They're a mood.
That was good.
Cool.
What was the shit you were just doing that I was saying sounded like so creepy?
Oh, you like that shit, Brian?
I'm into it. I mean, I don't know.
Word, Brian. Okay. Oh, I didn't realize it was like that.
You know, we passed a threshold as musicians where this is like what we do. Like this is what I want to do forever. And so we're working on like building structures so we can put out our own records and put them out in like a pace and speed that feels like what we want to see happen. I think everybody that's a working musician finds like a different answer to that equation.
When I rain
all of their vocabulary for recording has basis in their everyday reality. They record their own music all the time. That does, in fact, make them probably all the more capable of going into a studio and putting it in someone else's hands.
As we develop as a band, increasingly what I find the most rewarding is the collaborative process. You know, I had a lot of hopes for being in like a big band. You know, you want to be in a big band. You want to like do Letterman. But the best times I have now are when it's the four of us together and we're like setting up drum mics and cooking, and we like take smoke breaks and go on walks. And those are my favorite moments now. Whereas maybe 4 or 5 years ago, that stuff just felt like what you had to do to get on Letterman. You're not doing it for the sake of doing it itself. That kind of stuff, I think, will always keep me just completely fanatical about making, listening, and playing music.
Sick. Yeah, good times. Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that was like our worst. Well, this party is empty, which is also cool.
Right. Do you have a preference?
I like when you go. What's the first line?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want this is like a Tom Petty song.
Right, like, oh yeah, my brother moon, yeah. Kyle, do the Disney version of that.
No, I'm not. I'll do it later.
God, come on.
No.
Come on.
I don't want that even on the B-roll.
Come on, dude. Be your private mood Disney version.
I'm trying to do like Talking Head style, like prepping it for the fact that like the rhythmic star of the show is going to be. Yeah.
Sure.
Right. You gotta give him his moment.
I don't know, man.
That sounded tight.
Just trying to summon the Leviathan out here.
No, it fits in really well.
Cool.
Like, I don't know. We don't have to decide if this is the best thing ever.
Sure.
What we
Let
should
me see
do-
if I can like summon some serious overtones.
It's like sort of effective.
To download the multi-tracks recorded for this or any episode of Shaking Through, or to learn more about Weathervane Music, the nonprofit that produces this series, you can follow the links on the screen or go to weathervanemusic.org.